What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in. I am Zack Peter, your favorite naturally platinum blonde pop culture connoisseur and the host of hashtag No Filter with Zack Peter, available on all podcast platforms and available here on the YouTube. So as we know, this week, Jen Shah turned herself in. She has pled guilty for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which is just one of the charges that she was arrested for. Let's get into this because a lot of people have questions about what Jen Shah actually did. What was her actual job? What were the companies that she had? What was her business doing? How was it preying on elderly victims? And what is she looking at in terms of prison time? So let's break it on down, shall we? So what was Jen Shah's actual job? Well, Jen Shah had 20 plus years of experience in direct response marketing. So she knows how to swindle. She knows how to sell things to people. Good people, bad people, vulnerable people, people over 55, like she got arrested for. She had a company that did some advertising and lead generation. So basically what that means is their algorithm essentially tracked people's demographics and purchasing behaviors or just online behaviors, and then would use that to pitch them certain products or services. So it's kind of similar to like how an ad, when you're on Instagram or something and an ad pops up and it's specifically catered to you, it's very similar in that way. People often say like, oh my God, I was just thinking that one thought and all of a sudden the ad came up for that exact thing that I want. Like when you're scrolling Instagram stories or on the feed and there's like a product that you were just talking about or a service or whatever it is, it's because they're tracking your behavior. They're looking at what types of things that you're actually interested in and what products would be of most benefit to you or of most interest to you. So it's similar in that way. But in Jen Shah's case, she was targeting a more vulnerable demographic, which are elderly people 55 and older. And as we know, elderly people 55 and older are very likely to fall within the category of orphans and widows, because oftentimes when you are elderly, there is a good chance that you've lost your spouse or that your parents have passed on, which puts you in the category of orphans and widows. Am I saying that Jen Shah took advantage of orphans and widows? I absolutely am. And it's awful. And we need to be holding her accountable for this. And that's why we sent her off to the big house, clink, clink. Somebody call up Kim D so she can reenact that cling, cling, bitch. As we know, they would take those leads that they would get. So they would find people, they would find, which target demographics they want to reach. When they had those leads, they would take them and give them to other companies to try and pitch them business opportunities. Make money from home, get rich quick, invest your retirement today, that sort of stuff. So those types of opportunities, which the feds have now described as fraudulent schemes that have provided no value, which is what Jen Shah admitted to in court this week. So Jen would then get a commission off of any sales from those leads that the companies would generate from these elderly individuals. I don't believe her entire business was solely dedicated towards taking advantage of elderly people, but she was most definitely profiting off of that. So she provided them with access. These other companies, she would provide them with access to these elderly people, and then she would profit off of these elderly people while letting other people handle those direct sales. So she would be here, she would collect their data, this other company would come in working as the middleman, and then they would make the direct sale, and then whatever money was made, Jen Shah would make a percentage of that. So that's why they're naming her as the actual mastermind behind the scheme. Investigations into her have gone back many, many years, I believe dating back to 2012. And then in 2021, that's when we saw that she was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. So wire fraud is the telemarketing scheme itself. It's defrauding individuals. It's a special type of wire fraud because it was individuals that are 55 and older. They're more vulnerable. Just as anybody that's under the age of 18, they're more vulnerable. So it's just a special category, which makes the crime even worse. So the wire fraud is the actual telemarketing scheme itself. And then the money laundering was shuffling the money around to make it look clean, very Ozark on Netflix sort of vibes, just without the drugs that we know of. Without the drugs. I'm not making any accusations. And we do know that she did have 3 other companies. She had JXA Fashion, Shaw Beauty, and Real Shaw Lashes. from what I can remember, we didn't hear too much about these three companies. So it's fair to say that those are some of the companies that were linked to in the money laundering count. However, we know that she took a plea deal this week admitting to the wire fraud charge, and as a result, they decided to drop the money laundering charge. She'll be sentenced this November, I believe at the end of November, which is when we'll see how much time she'll actually end up serving and how much restitution she'll end up having to pay back. Right now, the estimates she's looking at 11 to 14 years in prison, $9.5 million in restitution, and $6 million in assets to turn over. In this case, that $6 million, those assets, I believe, have already been turned over. It's from the assets that were seized by the government. She now won't be able to get those back. She's going to have to forfeit those. So $6 million in assets. How Jen Shah even has $6 million in assets, very unclear, especially since we found out that she doesn't own any property. She was renting her Shah Chalet. It's all very interesting. I'm pretty sure there aren't $6 million worth of like fur coats and shoes. She's still rocking some of those designer pieces, as we saw when she was in court, or when she was appearing for court in New York over the weekend. So here it is. That's it. That's what she was doing. She was using telemarketing and email marketing to target individuals and sell them services. Business services is what they would say, is how they would market it, and she was profiting off of that. So these individuals that were elderly, that likely weren't working anymore, likely lost their spouses, likely, had kids that were grown. They're probably home alone, watching, I don't know, Good Morning America, or sorry, I don't want to offend any elderly folks. I'm pretty sure they're not watching my show, let's be honest. But they were just at home minding their own business, playing chess with, Stella down the street. And then all of a sudden, here comes Jen Shah, or not Jen Shah, but people that were connected to Jen Shah. Not that she hired directly, but some of her associates, her co-conspirators, as the feds have called them, would come on in and they'd be like, hey, Nana, do you want to try some business opportunities? Do you want to start an online business? Well, let's get started today. And Nana would be like, yeah, I do want to start an online business. Like, are your kids grown? Are they out of the house? Has your husband passed on? Or is your husband remarried to Betty down the street? And she's like, don't even get me started on Betty. Betty and Bertha is not invited to my funeral. Snap, snap, pat the puss. No way, Jose. And then they'll be like, well, then you're going to want to sign up for these business opportunities, this Shah University that's going to help you become a girl boss. You're going to become a woman entrepreneur at the tender age of 98. It's never too late to become a girl boss, like Jen Shah, star of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then they would buy in, and then they would give their money. And it was awful. I've had people start to DM me saying that one person DM'd me saying that their mother was taken advantage of in this scheme. I'm curious to see if they're willing to talk out. Trust me, a lot of people have reached out to me. If you know anybody, if you have stories, please share them with me and let's mention it all. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to catch #NoFilter with Zack Peter every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, available on all podcast platforms. And also, full episodes are available on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JustPlainZack. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification button. That way you always get the tea all up in those notifications right when it's ready to be spilled. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday with lots of fun content. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at NoFilter with Zack, at NoFilter with Zack. We go live on Instagram Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. Lots of fun reels. If these videos are a little too long form for you, then I break them down in under 2 minutes and I spilled that tea real quick. So you can head on over there if you want to follow me personally because you think I'm cute or you want to slide into my DMs. You can give me a follow at JustPlainZack. Let me know what other burning legal questions you have, be it about the Girardis, be it about the Chrisleys. Let me know what videos you want me to continue to do for you, and I will come and deliver that tea and spill it fresh like the Elwoods vibes that I'm serving today. All right. Love you, mean it. Ciao for now.